All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Oh, how to do... Okay. Glitchy. What's up, people of Rockfin? We're live on Rockfin, Rumble, and YouTube, or ScrewTube, or whatever you want to call it. Feeling Blue Tube. How are you guys? Let's see. Krista Nomad, Steph C. Affordable housing video. We have a similar setup in New Jersey. It doesn't really make sense because they build one affordable unit per... Which video are you talking about? Are you talking about the James Lee one or something else? I was gonna play... I always hate when this happens. Which video are you talking about, Steph C? I don't know if I saw it or if we're thinking about the same one. I mean, yeah, what you're saying is true, Steph. Absolutely right on the money. Eventually, though, I don't know how this business model keeps going, because when you keep increasing the price beyond what people can afford, then eventually people can't afford it, right? And yeah, you stole everything you could steal. You stole all the money. So then what? I guess you could move on to, that's why they want you to make more people. Move on to some new suckers. I don't know. I'm just saying at some point, but maybe I'm wrong. I was watching what I was going to say at some point. Got a lot of howdies on Rockfin. Howdy do. Howdy do. At some point, you lose the mayor of San Diego. Oh, okay. Yeah. At some point, you lose your customer base. But I was going to say, maybe I'm wrong. I was watching a finance video about, I don't know. Seems kind of weird, but I'm into stock market a little bit, or financial news. And I was watching a finance video, and they were talking about how a lot of brands were suffering because the economy was so bad. However, Ralph Lauren, like a luxury brand, was up higher than ever. So I'm like, what? So nobody has any money, but they want to act like they have money by buying the most expensive thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And that's just humans. That's just humans being, I don't know, counterproductive or counterintuitive. I don't get it. That whole luxury, thing, the whole Lux wave over the last, 20 years since the Great Recession has boggled my mind, because people have not been doing well, and yet it seems to be what's driving the price gouging and the inflation is part of it, is that people think if something, it's like a psychological trick. It's like a 3-card Monty, and somehow the people in charge totally understand that they can do this to people over and over again, and people just totally like buy it. It's like people don't have any money, but if they spend more for something, they think they're getting some kind of quality, or they want some kind of status associated with spending more money, something being more expensive. And you give power to this whole like luxury brand movement, and it actually it allows like kind of everyone to jack their prices up. It kind of allows for more price gouging and more inflation, because everybody's like, well, if I charge more, people think it's worth more and they'll pay more, because if I charge, it's just like, no, don't buy it. Just buy it, don't buy it. And I guess selling cheap hasn't paid off either, because all the 99-cent stores went out of business. A lot of the more, on the cheap side retail brands seem to be struggling. I don't know. So it's like people aren't, I don't get it. I'm like, give me the cheapest thing I can fucking find without killing me. Right? Let me buy the cheapest thing possible. Even buying organic is kind of ridiculous, because it's just price gouging. It's just price gouging. It's just price gouging. It's just an excuse to price gouge people. Like, yeah, maybe some of the things you buy might be organic, but it's been proven that most of the organic stuff you buy isn't organic. And it's just, it's not organic, not totally organic. There's some stuff in there that shouldn't be in there. So it's not pure, and you're paying like triple the price for something that's not really all that, yeah, I guess maybe it's better than the cheap brand, I guess. But, by how much? How much is it better? Is it nominally better? I don't get it. I just don't get it. But people are just like, oh, I gotta go buy organic. But like, do you know it's organic? How do you know if it's organic? And you're just giving an excuse to the people that are selling stuff to just charge you triple, quadruple, whatever the hell they're charging. Oh, these are organic strawberries. That'll be $15. Like, what the hell? No, I'm not. At some point, it just doesn't make any sense. At some point, it's all going to collapse, because it doesn't make any sense. And that's why the business model doesn't make sense to me, because the housing market, the food, the luxury brand market, the food, everything is going to collapse, because nobody's going to have any more to be gouged out of their pockets from. There's going to be nothing left. And so when that happens, in the first little bottom cell, the house of cards starts to fall, it's going to implode really fast. You could just hurry that along. Everybody could just stop buying shit, hurry that along. Just stop now. Just stop buying anything, everything that you could possibly think of to stop buying. Stop buying it. And hurry that whole thing along. If people are using credit cards, then the stock price should be lower. I don't get it. It is going to be, I have a feeling that a lot of people yes, the credit card debt is a lot. And it's going to be bad when nobody can pay any of them off. Right. Right. That's absolutely true. Have I been following the progressives fighting against Anna and Cenk? A little bit. I've been watching it. It's kind of silliness. It's also going on with Kyle Kalinske, who also seems to be in the camp of, Well, Anna and Jank, right, have now found alternative news Jesus or something, right? They're now seeing the light after being kind of carrying the shit lib torch for so many years. But everybody's doing that. Man, I have suspicions. I have so many suspicions about people out there, and even people that are presenting themselves like, man, you really gotta, the whole like co-opting of the alternative news thing is super real. And man, you really gotta you gotta be very wary of some of the folks out there, especially who have popped up recently. Just, you're right. Capitalism is trash. It has to expand, increase, grow, and grow and grow. Exactly. I mean, I think there's a way to do capitalism. You have to have some heavy checks and balances. You have to have some kind of some boundaries, some safeguards for it to work. I mean, it's like exchanging money for goods. It makes a lot of sense. Humans have been doing that for a long time. And you can call money whatever you want to call it: beads, shells, hides. You can call it whatever you want. People exchanged things that had a certain value for another thing that had value. I mean, that's kind of capitalism in a way, but it's the amassing, it's the hoarding of the wealth. It's the massing of the vast mountains of wealth that is the problem. And so you gotta, what? The audio is looping? Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a way to? I'm sorry about that. Maybe there's a way I can turn that off. Are you hearing the dude? Are you hearing the audio twice? Is what you're saying on Rockfin? I can. Is anybody else hearing that? And please let me know. I'd like to fix it if I can. But again, the business model of bilking everyone. When is the question? And honestly, I'm okay. I'm gonna I'm talking a lot, but that's what I do on a show where I'm supposed to talk. It's a talk show. But I'm gonna get into it. But there's a tie-in with, I think somebody mentioned on in the chats the other day, and I have said this too, in the past couple of years, and I think other people are thinking the same thing. One of the reasons why the powers that be might be going ham, full speed ahead, sprinting towards the technocratic prison state. One of the reasons why is most likely climate change. Things are gonna get out of control in the next couple of years. Things are out of control right now. I mean, it's like 80 degrees right now. It was 60 degrees when I woke up this morning. It's like December, middle of December, and I know that California can get warm, but 60 as a low was like, it's 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 a high. That's a pretty high low, and that's that's just been going on and on and on, and it's very warm. It's getting warmer. The earth is getting warmer. You're getting the audio twice. It might just be you, the dude. Maybe refresh. I would suggest just refreshing the video or something, or I don't know. Maybe something else is making it. Okay. But they're going for it. They're going for it. It seems like they are. They're going for like global control. And they're also doing, money laundering, like every single thing that they can take from people and steal from people and take out of the system as quickly as they can. They're doing it. I mean, that's what's happening. It's clear as day that the people in charge, anybody connected to anybody in charge, anybody, in a corporate, anybody with who understands the corporate state is also a Titanic that's, going down soon. Everybody is trying to take every single thing they can out of every little pocket and nook and cranny of the economy that they can right now. It's Banana Republic, steal everything that's not nailed to the floor time. But this is I have been covering the story. Wrote a song about it. You want to hear it? I've been covering this story about the homeless, money laundering scam that was going on, that's been going on in California. And James Lee did a really good video kind of getting a little deeper into it. That it looks, the evidence is kind of, and I have been saying this. I've been saying this over and over and over, like a broken record for the last 2 years. And it's not like a new idea or a new take on anything, but everything is a money laundering scheme. Every single thing is a money laundering scheme. And, I'd say I'm not saying all, but most businesses are involved in some kind of money laundering bullshit. Most businesses at the corporate level. I'm not really talking about, people, mom and pops and smaller businesses, but quite, I'm there has to be. Anyways, let's watch this from James Lee before it gets too late in the day. He says, I may have uncovered a massive scandal in California. Newsom claims $24 billion for homelessness went missing. Right, because they basically said we didn't track any of the money. We don't know where it went. We don't know how useful it was. We don't know what happened to it. He uncovered something. Let's listen.
I think I just discovered a massive money laundering scheme in California, and it has to do with this: homelessness. Some of you may have seen this headline: $24 billion gone missing. Gavin Newsom, no idea where it is. And this money was supposed to have gone to tackling homelessness. Well, I think I may have just discovered what happened to some of that missing money. Okay, so this is San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria. He's been on quite the rampage in the last couple years, making all kinds of public housing deals. Except when you look into it, none of these projects make any sense. For example, $145 million for 407 units.
Nope. That's money laundering right there. There's absolutely no way that 400 units costs that much money. No way. What is it? How much money per unit is that? Anybody can do some quick math on that and see that that's like I don't know, like $10 million a unit or something. It's several million dollars per unit. There's no way. There's absolutely no possible way. It's all going to the management of the money. It's just a scheme.
Here's another one: $150 million, 270 units. This is absolutely bonkers. How is this going to solve anything? I mean, you walk around East Village in San Diego and it looks like a freaking dump. But that's not even the whole thing. It gets even weirder. In all of these public housing projects, there's one investment group that pops up over and over again, which is the Chelsea Development Corporation. Chelsea Development Corporation. Chelsea Investment Corporation. So I go to their website and they say Chelsea Investment Corporation is focused on creating and preserving high-quality, affordable rental homes. We take special pride in our ability to structure creative financing solutions that result in the development of award-winning housing that complements the surrounding neighborhood. And then I dig a little bit deeper and we find out that the Chelsea Investment Group is an investment fund that is based in the Cayman Islands. These are definitely the guys that you want to get involved with. But their HQ is in California, 6339 Paseo del Lago, Carlsbad, California, 92011. Now it gets even sketchier. 6339 Paseo del Lago in Carlsbad is owned by this company called 13th and Broadway CICLP. 13th and Broadway CICLP is basically a shell company that's been formed by the Chelsea Investment Corporation. Let's go back to this property report. Okay, so if you go back to the transaction history, you'll see that in October 2016, this headquarters, this building was sold for $3 million, $3.15 million. But in November of 2023, it's now worth $68.7 million. How does this make any sense? 2016, it was worth $3 million. Now it's worth $68 million.
So, man, what's the quick math on that? That's 22 times the value in a few years. 22 times the value in a few years. That is not possible. That is not possible. That is absolutely not possible.
Then you look at the lender. It is the Housing Authority of San Diego. San Diego Housing Authority is not a bank, but it's certainly acting as a bank right now. $68.7 million to some investment group based in the Cayman Islands. Tell me this doesn't look like money laundering. I don't know. There's definitely some smoke here. None of this makes any sense. There's definitely, allegedly, I think these two are up to something shady.
Yeah, good work by James Lee. Good stuff. And I mean, I've been talking about this story all year. I've been talking about this, the homeless funding being, it's literally all. Why do you think Biden and Trump is doing it too? We're going to cover Trump if we got time. Trump letting financial fraudsters, pardoning financial fraudsters. Trump was also doing it at the end of his last term. Why do you think Biden is pardoning all these fraudsters? Because they're all benefiting from it. I'm telling you, there's the only reason that Biden would do that for these people is if somehow there was either him or somebody who was a very influential donor, somebody who's tied to him or his family, or who AIPAC or whoever, right? Somebody very, very powerful is saying, let these folks go. I'm telling you, Biden is connected to some super, super, super ugly stuff, right? Because he's letting all these financial and terrible people, all these financial fraudsters and cash for kids people out, he's letting them out. He's pardoning them because somebody is going, hey, let my guy go. It's mafia shit. So when the question is when are we gonna do something about it instead of sitting around going oh shit, I hope somebody does something about this. Sure would be great if somebody would step up to the plate. Have you seen, did I play Peter Thiel? I think I did play Peter Thiel being nervous. They should absolutely be nervous. Y'all are stealing money from everyone, literally everyone and everything, that you can possibly steal from. This is Peter Thiel talking to Piers.
By denying them cover, what would you say to them? It's I don't know what to say. I think I still think you should try to make an argument, and I think this is you should,
Why does he look so nervous? Why does he look sweaty and nervous? Are you really that nervous? You're Peter Thiel. The only way that Peter Thiel would be that nervous, I don't think he's scared about the people. He's, this would indicate that something else is going on with that assassination, other than some dude was mad. He looks sweaty and nervous. He looks like, well, you better watch your back, buddy, because you don't know where this is coming from. It can come from anywhere. Anyway,
There may be things wrong with our healthcare system, but you have to make an argument, and you have to try to find a way to convince people, and change it by that. And this is.
Oh, you just have to convince people to act better. Is that what it is? Please, sir, will you please stop taking all my money and giving me nothing in return? Please, could you please stop doing that? I think that'll work. I think it's been working. I mean, things are changing for the better, right? He is glitching out. 270 units from 150 million is what? $500,000 per unit. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. No way. There's no way, because each of those, if I don't know what kind of units we're talking about, but if you're talking about just, like they build these like little tiny homes here in California, some places. And I don't know, what happens to the homeless people. I don't know. Some people donate tiny homes and then they take them all down, and then they just sweep. Mostly it's tents. They're living in tents, and then they sweep the tents, once every month or two, and then everybody comes back. But there's no, a tiny home could cost what, $1,000 to make, of lumber, double that for the labor, or maybe, or maybe maybe let's call it $5,000 to make a tiny home. All in. So with $24 billion, you could have, I mean, come on now. I mean, I heard the number is like 30 billion would cure homelessness in the entire country. So anyways, so he's glitching out. Peter Thiel's nervous. And all the while, in the meantime, the people that are stealing money from you and sending it to Israel and Ukraine are voting themselves a pay raise. Buried in the 1,500-page spending bill is a 40% pay increase for Congress. Members of Congress salary will be increased from $174,000 to $243,000. That's a pretty good pay raise. Jesus Christ. That was like, what's the math on that? That's like almost $75,000 a year pay raise. That is like that's like a 40% bump. What the hell? For what? Selling us out? We knew this was coming. Here's U.S. Congress members saying they need a raise and cost of living adjustment. Yeah, what about the people? What about people working? You voted yourself a 40% pay raise, and then you're cracking down on unions that are asking for, for what? 5%? By the way, yes, Chris, 30 billion will also flatten Gaza. By the way, have you seen Elon Musk talking about how all the homeless people are just drug addicted, ne'er-do-wells? Elon Musk is such a dick. He's like, oh, these people want to be homeless, or they just can't keep their shit together. If you give he retweeted several posts talking about if you give homeless people houses, they just live in squalor and OD, and you can't give people houses. That doesn't fix the problem. Yes, it does, dude. It's been proven. There's been studies, multiple studies, and also tests throughout many cities of the country where they gave people homes, and it greatly reduced the problems. Did it get rid of all the problems? No, of course not. But Elon Musk is trying to tell people that, like, oh, homeless people deserve to be homeless because they're just, they're just garbage. Man, I was so angry about that. I was so angry about that because he's like, oh, most of the homeless people are not like people that can't afford rent. Yes, they are, dude. That you can't afford rent, you lose your fucking house, you end up in the street, then you start doing drugs because god damn it, you got nowhere else to go. You're on the bottom and there's no way out. You know how hard it is, once you're homeless, to be unhomeless, it is really hard. And the despair that people are feeling is, you can feel it. You can feel it in people that still have homes. You can feel it in people that don't have homes. People are in despair. And Elon is trying to tell people that these people are just, just assholes. God dang it, man. It just makes me really angry. I know. That's a big pay increase. That's like a 70 grand pay increase. That is insane. Oh my God. That is insane. For Congress. Nobody thinks that Congress deserves or earns that or needs that. Meanwhile, they're all, making money on the stock market anyways. They're all following Nancy Pelosi's picks, which have been proven to be, 4,000% return in the last 10 years. Pretty good. Yeah, Gregory, yes. Low cost. Socialism actually works and social democracies actually work. It's just that the psychopaths of the world have decided that they don't want, that for people. They don't want people having free healthcare and college. They don't want people getting smarter and realizing that they have to rein in the titans of capital, rein them in even more. That's the way it's going to work better for the planet. They understand that if you keep people economically under a thumb, that you can, you're going to get a lot less resistance because they're going to be like, oh, geez, I got nothing, man. Anyways, Biden is doing it because then they can't testify against them. Sure. I mean, I'm sure there are several reasons, but sure. I'm glad you got your heat fixed, old as dirt. Sorry to hear that happen. That sucks. The selfish gene. Yeah. Okay. I just really going a little bit slow here. It is hotter. Yes, we're talking about news events. This is a news event. It is actually this hot. This is not like, nobody's making this up or making this happen. It is actually this hot. Why? Because the conspiracy is not that climate change is a hoax. The conspiracy is that it's much, much worse than they are going to ever let you know. And they are not going to fix it. They can't do it. They're not going to do it. They're just going to let it. They're just going to grab everything they can grab and hope, that an underground bunker will be the cure, or at least a good place to hide. That's what they're hoping. They're grabbing everything and running for, New Zealand or Guyana or wherever they got their bunkers set up, hoping to outlive a massive shift in the climate due to the poisoning of the planet. But there you go. Hudson Bay will be about 20 C warmer than the 1979-2000 average right around Christmas. Yep. Look at that freaking blob of heat right there. Massive. And as I said, it's very warm here. It's been very warm here for a long time. Well, I mean, I'm just through the winter. That's what I mean by a long time. And very dry, very warm. Kind of not really any end in sight. I know that technology will fix everything. Yeah, they better get on that. Anyways, this is happening. This is part of the reason, I'm sure, that the folks that run the show are trying to just grab everything that they can, because things are rapidly, not just economically falling apart, but climactically falling apart. If you're paying attention to what is happening around the world and how things are falling apart and normal weather doesn't exist anymore, if you're paying attention to that, it's going to be very difficult to conduct a business as usual in that kind of environment. And things will break down. They will break down catastrophically. Global warming is worse than IPCC's worst case from 2014. It's worse regionally. The North Atlantic was 0.55 C warmer the past year. Accelerated warming is now materializing because greenhouse gases are increasing. Sulfur is decreasing. Look into bunker fuel and the laws around that. Also, less, coal burning. These are all things that are supposed to clean up the environment, but we're getting rid of some of the dimming that keeps the heat down. Even as the PDO is negative, shipping desulfurization was not part of the RCP 8.5 scenario. This could be more than making up for negative PDO. It will climate simulations predict the global warming will rise exponentially if emissions go unchecked. I don't know. I think it's going to rise exponentially either way. I think the damage is done. I think that's what they know. The damage is done. The damage is done. There's no reversing this. And then there's also the, nuclear radiation spewing out of all the nuclear power plants that are going to be suddenly offline eventually, right? There's going to be no one around to manage those things or keep them from melting down. And that'll be fun too. Ooh, bad news. Yikes. I'm sorry to hear that, Anna Maris. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, there's a lot. I mean, there is a lot of despair. You're absolutely right, Anna Maris. Yeah, it's everywhere. You can really feel people, not even just economically. Like, you can feel people really struggling with what's going on in the world. People really get on a gut level how crazy things are getting and how things are kind of spinning out of control. And there's no way for people to really stop it or put the brakes on or escape, the madness. And no, I guess he is not fine, Bella. There's no way for people to escape. It's really difficult for people to escape the madness. But, I guess if you go buy some Ralph Lauren gear for Christmas, you can escape for a little while. You can pretend that things are cool because you got a really cool sweater, I guess, or you buy a new car or something. Go on a vacation. You can pretend that things are great for a little while. Anyways. Keep on going. One more climate related post here. I thought I had, there's also, this is the same. Adjusting for natural variability clearly shows global warming has accelerated. Boom, bip. Don't forget, global warming has accelerated a lot. So that is happening. Throw that in the mix, whether you believe in it or don't believe in it. Just look at what is happening around the world kind of all the time, and then You don't have to believe it or not, but you could just maybe acknowledge like, oh shit, that's really out of control. I had where did it go? There's just video. I mean, this is just happening every single day, in several places around the planet. Scenes. Oh shit, I don't want that. Where is it? I wanted it here. This is Thailand. Rescue workers used boats to evacuate women amid severe flooding in Nakhon Si Thammarat, Thailand. I mean, there's somewhere in the U.S. There's I just saw some video from where was it? Ohio? I can't remember. But it seems like it's every day. Several places around the planet are dealing with like catastrophic flooding, cyclones, hurricanes. It's happening, or something is happening. I don't know. You may not believe it, but something's going on. Or you may not want to believe it. Yeah, as I was saying, oh, by the way, if you enjoy the show, if you like the show coming to you for free 99 every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. That's not every single day, but it's the work week, Monday through Friday, but sometimes on the weekends. Sometimes I drop some other weird things here and there. If you appreciate the show and you want the show to keep on keeping on and coming to you for free, and you want to support the show in that effort, that would be really, really great. There's lots of links in the description box. All the usuals are there: Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Buy Me a Coffee, Ko-Fi, etc., 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 etc. They're all there. Many of you folks support the show already. You know who you are, and I really appreciate you for doing that. It really is very helpful. Yeah, I thought I had a couple of flooding videos, but where'd they all go? I lost them all. Oh, we just covered the island, was it Mayotte? Just absolutely being obliterated over the last couple of days by Cyclone Cheeto. All right. Donald Trump also was pardoning the white collar criminals on his way to his last apparently he's privatized. This is a whole nother post, but apparently he's privatized his transition team. Usually he has not signed. There's like some kind of ethics agreement, and I don't know. I saw some post on it, and I failed to grab it, but it seemed pretty interesting. But anyways, he is, I guess, privatized his transition, meaning more money laundering, right? Basically. The man was convicted of 33 felonies for stealing Google's biggest secrets. Then Trump pardoned him on his last day in office, not for politics, not for loyalty, but for something much bigger. Here's why Trump forgave Silicon Valley's $245 million heist: because he was told to, or in some way benefited from this heist. Either one. This is around self-driving cars. The year was 2016. Self-driving cars were the hottest innovation in tech. Every major company was racing to dominate this $1 trillion opportunity, but one company was miles ahead of everyone else, and that was Google. Google's Waymo had a seemingly unbeatable lead. This is a weird story because actually it's a weird story because I'll give you the end. I'll go to the punchline. It didn't. He actually got his stealing of the information didn't help anybody, and they Google ended up winning anyways. Hundreds of thousands of test miles, years of research and development, the world's best engineers. Their technology was worth billions. It was locked in a vault. Meet Anthony Levandowski, not just another engineer. He was the architect behind Google's self-driving technology. He helped to build Waymo's foundation from the ground up. I think we read a story on this years ago. 2016, Levandowski suddenly quit Google. 6 months later, he launched Otto, a self-driving truck startup. Then came a bombshell. Uber acquired Otto for $680 million just months after its founding. The speed of the deal raised eyebrows. Here's why. Before leaving Google, Levandowski downloaded 14,000 secret files. Anyways, this wasn't just corporate espionage. This was like stealing the recipe for Coca-Cola. Karma works in mysterious ways. The truth came out by accident. The supplier mistakenly sent Google designs for Uber's LiDAR system. One problem, they looked exactly like Google's secret technology. Google's investigation uncovered something massive. The evidence was overwhelming. 14,000 confidential files downloaded. Sudden launch of Otto. The rushed $680 million Uber acquisition. The most damning part, internal emails showed Uber executives knew exactly what they were doing. Okay. Well, this is what. So it was called one of the biggest crimes ever seen. The Department of Justice charged Levandowski with 33 felonies. He pleaded guilty to one count and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Boy, that was severe, wasn't it? 33 felonies. He pleaded guilty to one and was charged with 18 months. All right. And I bet that was easy time. Then came the twist. Trump's last day in office in 2021, a wave of pardons was announced. Among them was Anthony Levandowski. The pardon came after Peter Thiel, our friend and ally. No, he's not our ally. And Palmer Luckey lobbied on his behalf. Their argument, they claimed Lewandowski's contribution to self-driving technology outweighed his mistakes. His innovations were pushing America forward. The message sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley. Some people are too brilliant to be bound by normal rules. I feel like there was more than lobbying from Peter Thiel. I feel like it was a little heavier than lobbying, don't you? They're just like, hey, let this guy go because he's really cool. That's all that was involved? Nah. I don't believe that for a second. Yep, Gene. I'm with you there. Anyways, it didn't really undercut the Waymo all that much, but I think when you got powerful friends like Peter Thiel, well, you get to skip your jail time. Let's keep going because there's a couple more things I want to cover before I vacate the place. Look at this. The DC regime change lobby is thrilled that the sanctions they drafted with the intent of engineering regime change in Syria appear to have worked. We can expect this to result in an even greater proliferation of punitive sanctions. Yeah. Already the go-to tool of statecraft. Yep. Oh, they do work. They do actually obliterate countries and people. And the other thing that I think the West always points to as far as like how financial subterfuge and or pressure can can make a win against an enemy is the collapse of Russia is a pretty big one, right? They pressured Russia from many angles, and mostly economic angles, and eventually Russia collapsed under these pressures, and that's the U.S., especially in the West, looks at that as vindication or validation of their methods. And the Syrian thing that happened is again another valid. That was a win for the U.S. and Israel. That was a loss for Russia and others in the area. Any people that consider themselves fighting for the freedom of the indigenous people there. They finally got their win, which is bad news for the rest of the world. I was going to cover. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. I was going to jump off of YouTube and cover some COVID things, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. I think I'll save those over for tomorrow, because there's actually some pretty big news around, more info coming out around medical interventions. This is interesting, though. The DA admitting a for-profit insurance company is part of the government is a mask-off moment for the system. Luigi Mangione's indictment basically confirms that the state exists to serve corporate power, which is precisely what fascism is. Which is what, yes, we are going to get more fascism with Trump. Absolutely. Not fascism because we had democracy. No, we already have fascism. We're going to get more fascism. Just want to make that point. If you don't understand that Biden, is just as criminal as Trump, if not more, and they're both just criminal, boneheads, and they're both in the employ of the same people for the same purpose, which is just basically throwing gold bars off the Titanic so that their buddies can catch them. That's what they're both doing. Okay, just and I think there's a lot of people out there saying that this run up of the Biden, this kind of assault that the Biden administration is doing on the planet before Trump takes office. There's a lot of people, even independent media out there saying like, "Wow, they want to do this before Trump gets in and reverses everything." Nah, that's not what it is. Trump ain't going to reverse anything. I mean, they're doing it before they can get out of office, of course, so that they can get all that they can get. But like, Trump's not going to reverse anything. Trump is going to keep that going. Trump is going to go, oh yeah, he's going to take the baton and continue running full speed down the track with the corruption and the thievery. So I don't know. I don't see. There's some people that think that Trump is going to get in there and somehow turn some things around. I'll applaud it if I see it, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. Anyways, let's read this. The defendant in the county of New York, on or about December 4th, 2024, with intent to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, influence the policy of a unit of government by intimidation or coercion. So assassination or kidnapping committed the specified offense of murder in the thing. Okay, so yeah, they're saying coerce a civilian population. So this could be. It's not necessarily an admission that he's working for the government. Power to the people, which is a good name for a Twitter account. It doesn't matter though. I mean, if the government could give you free healthcare, but they actually support the shoddy and corrupt healthcare system as it stands, right? They're never going to give you Medicare for all. They're never going to give you government. They're going to take it away. They're going to make it more expensive. That's what the Biden administration did. They raised the prices on Medicare. Anyways, Trump's been doing that since he was involved in housing fraud in New York City. Sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got, he's helping out his friends because his friends are going to help him. And Peter Thiel is kind of silently a big part of his transition team / administration. Like Peter Thiel is Elon Musk is a more public advisor, but Peter Thiel is back there in the shadows doing some advising. Absolutely. All right. All right. I'm gonna see if I have anybody to thank before I leave for the day. If you guys want to, I released a song the other day. If you want to keep up with my music stuff, you can follow any and all of my music channels, which is just my name, Kevin Sandbloom. Instagram is a good one. TikTok is a good one. YouTube is a good one. Follow any of those channels at Kevin Sandbloom, and you can I release things, music, loops, all kinds of stuff on a pretty regular basis, right? All right. I think that's it. I'm gonna tomorrow, y'all. I'm gonna not be here tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday at noon at 12 p.m. Pacific. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. I just got something going on tomorrow I got to take care of. So, but I will miss y'all. But I'm gonna see you on Friday. So we'll be back on Friday, 12 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate you. And we'll cover, what we got to cover. All right. Peace, people.